Hey guys, it's Matt DeAngelis. I'm here ready to get in the room for Broadway Boot Camp, rock singing. Very excited to work with these girls, and I can't wait to see how they rock it out in there. It's going to be great. All right. How's it going, guys? I'm Matt DeAngelis. We're doing a rock audition class today. I'm teaching these guys how to sing a little bit of rock and roll music in the musical theater context. So let's pan over here. What's going on, guys? I don't even know your names yet. What's your name? Fatima. Tara. Megan, it's nice to meet you. I'm Matt DeAngelis.
How do you say that?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is you got to sing like you sing. You know, like I had you guys bring like clips of your favorite singers today. Find the things that you like about other singers, but you have to find a way, whether that's through voice lessons or just singing in the shower or whatever, to sing like you sing 8 times a week, healthy. You know, and it's not always about singing loud, it's about singing in a healthy way for your own instrument. And that's like a lifelong journey. You know, none of us will really ever arrive there, but you get better at it as you get older. So, like, who are your favorite rock singers? Katy Perry?
Michael Jackson.
Yes, excellent choice.
I think Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah, alright. Cool, and those are all very different. Like, if you want to talk about styling yourself after somebody, you know, I mean, Michael Jackson is obviously sings a little quieter, more riffs and stuff like that. You know, Bonnie Raitt has an entirely different sound from like the traditional rock sense. And Katy Perry is as classic a rock singer as you can get for right now. I think a huge thing is try to cut out vibrato and try, if you're in a rock audition and you're thinking about technique, you're really behind the 8 ball starting out. You know what I mean? You want to just kind of, everybody makes fun of what you're saying, but just grip it, rip it. Just wake up, you know, do your warm up, but then once you get in that room, go time. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to place this here and flip it over there and do all that stuff. It won't. It's just not going to get you the result that you want. You know, it's more about individuality and feeling the music and being passionate and like singing like yourself. So, I mean, I guess let's just do it. Rock singing is not particularly difficult, so let's go ahead. She's putting it all up kind of like in the front of her face. You can like listen for that. Like, I'm a total geek for vocal cords and for placement. Like, I'm just a loser for it. So if you listen to like how she's really pushing that sound like forward, even when she's singing quiet. It's all up in here. I mean, it doesn't sound nasal like that in her particular instrument, but like she's pushing it all really forward, which is a really important thing. So I think for her, I think the 2 things we'll pull out of here is try to focus on less vibrato. Now, if you were really auditioning for Godspell, you should put a little in, because this is more of a musical theater song, but for the purposes of today, focus on trying to straight tone as much as you can. And also, you don't have to sing super loud. If you turn that sound and you get it out coming out your nose and then coming out your face the way you're supposed to, it's automatically going to sound like more of a pop song. Alright, let's stop there. Try that. Can you keep like in the beginning part when it's like, he will not always try, the sounded fine. He had some flavor in there, it was good. You should try to go for it. Can you go, rise and ready to obey? Just like really just, you know? Like just go for it.
To
No, you got it. I know you got it. Do it again. Just you're right there. Just belt it. Even if you crap, we'll edit it out. We don't care. Just go for it. just go for it. Like that's the kind of thing. Like it's all about attitude. When you're singing rock music, when you're singing like really brassy, ballsy stuff, it's all about attitude. You know, just friggin' sing it. You know. Bingo. There you go. Now, I mean, again, we're nitpicking now, but try to do that and. Don't spin it till the end. You wasted the note because it sounds great in your voice. To rise, you're ready to obey. You know, like hold it over. But try to straight tone it as long as you can. Like that's the biggest thing about singing rock music is that it's such a subtle difference, but the difference is so important. You know what I mean? Like it's the difference between somebody who now I dropped out of college. But I know how to sing. Like there are 4-year people who went to Boco or Cincinnati who like have technique like falling out their butts, and they're amazing performers. And they're better than me at a lot of things, but I can hang with them on this because I know how to do this. But it's such a small difference. But you gotta really nail those little details. Remember, to rise and ready. So straight tone it, spin it, just a little bit at the end. Because even Katy Perry, if you listen to her, at the very end, she has a really quick little, and then she moves on. And ready to obey, yeah. So continue it through. So rise and ready to obey. And you can even float that one. It's kind of cool if you can flip it, because I know that's a little high for you. That the ready to obey. You can flip that back into your other thing, but you got to flip right back in. You know what I mean? Just try again. That's how to sing. That's going to get you jobs like tomorrow. That is so good. It sounds awesome. Don't ever say you don't have that note again. You do. Oh man, that was great. Fatima was so nervous about singing this one note, and she didn't think she had it. She's like, oh, it's right on my passaggio. And I was like, no. The biggest thing about singing rock music is you got to just, it's about grit. It's about, I'm going to sing this note no matter what. And she did, and she finally got there, and it sounded so good, and it sounded so interesting in her voice, and if she can continue to do that, she's gonna get jobs. It was so awesome.
He was really chill.
If you're gonna sing high and loud, it's really hard to do it in a pop style unless you're really forward. Like that's the biggest lesson that we can take away from this technically today. If you're in an audition, feel free to like hunch over and close your eyes and like, move your arms around and stuff, because that's interesting to look at, because you're feeling this kind of music. This is music that's very evocative, and you get really excited about it. That's why they wrote it.
If I could find a way to see this straight, I'd run away to some fortune that I should have found by now. So I run out to the things they say could restore me, restore life the way it should be.
If you're gonna use a vibrato or a spin or anything, you have to use it on purpose, you know what I mean? But I think that's really great. I could feel it a little more. That's a great song. It is a great song for you. But just let it rip. I still feel like you're singing a little safe. And this song is not going to hurt you vocally. It sits in a good place, healthy place in your voice. And I'm not saying scream it, but you can dig into it a little more, I think, and it would serve you really well. I think on the runs that you do, you can put in a little more glottal in them and make them put a little more percussiveness in it, because it'll make it pop more. It kind of gets lost. It sounds like you're doing a slide a little bit. I don't know if that was even the music thing you were doing, but just kind of attack when it moves a little more. And again, I would say, you can keep pushing further to let those big notes sail, just rip them, because you're singing. It's so good in your instrument that you can just paint little dabs on top and make it even better.
If I could find a way to see this straight, I'd run away to some fortune that I should have found by now. And so I run out to the things they say could restore me, restore life the way it should be. I'm waiting for this cough syrup to come down.
That's what I'm talking about. That was great. That riff at the end was really, really, really clean and really great. Tara was so great. She brought in Michael Jackson, which is the best pop act, ever. And so we kind of talked about finding the music in your body, which is also very important, because it's one thing to sound great. You got to look like you're sounding great too, some of the time too. You'd be like, oh, I'm really trying hard to get this note. And she really has that indie rocker chick vibe in her voice. She doesn't have to work very hard. So we worked really hard at getting her to move with the song, and she really nailed it. Her voice is so cool to listen to. It's I wanted her to be sitting at a piano and playing an original tune or something at a club. It was really, really great.
I felt comfortable, because usually when I'm in a class with someone, I get really nervous and I I'm not confident hitting my notes, but I felt really comfortable to just sing
Out.
So for this song, this is almost like you're gonna be singing like, I don't know, like a ballad kind of song, like an Ingrid Michaelson almost, right? Like, so for the purposes of today, let's like go that way, as opposed to like really trying to like rock it out. I mean, maybe, you know, if you want to pop the high notes out, that's great. But like, for the purposes of how to sing like a pop singer or a rock singer, I say go like a little more like indie rock vibe for today, and just see what that does in singing. We'll see.
Why do I want him still? Why when there's nothing there? How to go on with the rest of my life, thinking I don't care. This should have been my time. It's over, it never began.
And they gave us a rock song to sing, and like I sang it, and Abby over at Telsey was like, "Oh yeah, I walked across." Yeah. And so I went in, and she's like, "Just don't sing it. Do it again, but don't sing it." And I was like, "What?" And the piano started playing, and I literally felt like the biggest jerk in the world. But then she was like, "That's great. We love that. Good job." And I was like, "Are you kidding? Like, try to sing it like so little that you feel stupid just for right now. Like, give me a little more indie rock vibe. Like, no vibrato, and just like, just pull out of it and just try to sing soft and like nothing. Like, that's cool. Like, it's, again, when you're singing rock stuff, it's not always about showing them every note you have. Like, and I'm not this way, but like pop stars are cool. Like, they're cool. Like, they don't have to show you every, like, yeah, I can sing that, but I'm not gonna, because I'm cool. You know, and that's like such an important part of it too. Like, this should have been my time. Like, it's cool to just go boop, and then go through, because then you can lay into that note later, and you sang it two different ways in the same song, and it's really interesting to listen to. So I say, do it again, like that. Take out the first riff that you were putting in, the little, whatever that was, I don't remember. And then I saw you struggling because there is a riff like in the music, and you were trying to straight tone, and that was really good. Straight tone, but put that little riff that you wanted to do back in on the high note. And feel free to like open up, pick a note or two to like really open up on at the end there. And just make sure you're singing the right amount of syllables, but it's not about what words you're singing. So you're like psyching your stuff out. It doesn't friggin' matter. It's all about like how you're sounding and vibe. So do it again.
Thinking that I don't care. This could have been my time. It's over, it never began. I closed my eyes to so much for so long, but I no longer can. I try to blame it on fortune, some kind of twist in my fate. But I know the truth, and it haunts me. I learned it a little too late. I know the truth, and it mocks me. I know the truth, and it shocks me. I learned it a little too late.
Nice.
I really love Ingrid Michaelson, so I'm really happy that that's somebody that's my assignment to listen to. And I'm not sure if I'm ever going to be doing a rock musical, but I mean, I feel like it'd be fun, so I hope that that's something that I can maybe work towards. So.
Megan was great. She's such a traditional musical theater singer. So that was like a challenge, just to kind of break her out of the mold of singing, you know, like great musical theater music. And she brought in a musical theater song from Aida, and she took my notes so well. She like was like on it, which was awesome. But I think for her, I mean, straight toning was a challenge, because also repeating things from the CD was a big challenge. But once we got her out of her like comfort zone with that song, her tone was great. And then on the last take, when we were like going through it, I let her continue to the end of the song, and she flipped this note, And it was perfect. I mean, it was perfectly executed. It wasn't like super belty or super rock and roll, but it was like, I kept saying Ingrid Michaelson over and over again. She like popped this note out, and it was really, really great. Find new places in your voice. Like, I am a much better singer now at 28 than I was at 22, because when I was 22, I was just trying to sing everything as loud and as high as I could, and that's fine, but you gotta learn what makes your voice special. Because there are lots of really, really talented singers in this city, but every single one of them has something special about their instrument that doesn't sound like anybody else's instrument. And now, maybe you won't even do a rock show ever, but it's important to try. It's important to find the things about singing rock music that you can take to other kinds of music, or a riff, or whatever it is. You just need to learn how to sing like you. And whether that makes you a rock star or not, at the end of the day, you're singing like you. And audiences and casting directors and people are going to respond to that because it's honest and it's different. And that's so, so important. And that takes a long time. It's not like, oh yeah, just snap your fingers and it'll be done. But I think that's super important, and I think that's a really great thing about pop music, is that you have all these multi-million-dollar recording artists, but they all sound different. Like Katy Perry doesn't sound like Beyonce, doesn't sound like Justin Timberlake, doesn't sound like Jason Mraz. You know what I mean? Like there's no like formula. So just find your own voice and use it, and I think you'll be fine.